Welcome to Earth Tab Business School. My name is Sarah Fuchs, and I will be course preceptor for the course Understanding Film Aesthetics and Mood. Understanding Film Aesthetics and Mood is a richly immersive and intellectually expansive course that invites you to explore the intricate visual and emotional fabric of cinema. At its core, this course is about decoding the visceral language of images and how the look and feel of a film, its aesthetics, work synergistically with emotion, its mood, to shape viewer experience, meaning-making, and cinematic memory. Aesthetic choices, color, lighting, framing, composition, texture, pace, sound design, costume, performance style, camera movement are not simply technical or stylistic decisions. They are fundamental narrative tools and psychological cues, shaping how a film feels, what it communicates, and how deeply it resonates with its audience. Film is a temporal, sensory, and immersive medium. Unlike static visual arts, cinema unfolds in time, inviting the viewer into carefully crafted aesthetic environments that evoke specific emotional states of nostalgia, tension, dread, euphoria, melancholy, serenity, and ambiguity. This course takes a deep dive into understanding how filmmakers evoke mood deliberately through visual, auditory, and temporal aesthetics, and how these emotional atmospheres can carry as much meaning as plot or dialogue. We will analyze iconic sequences across world cinema, observing how tone and feeling are meticulously constructed through choices in lighting, e.g., chiaroscuro versus naturalism, color palettes, e.g., warm tones versus desaturated grays, camera proximity, e.g., close-ups for intimacy, wide shots for alienation, and pacing, e.g., long takes to linger in emotion, rapid cuts to generate anxiety. You will learn to read the emotional logic embedded in cinematic images and to recreate such effective impact in their own work. In tandem, the course explores major theoretical frameworks, including phenomenology, affect theory, psychoanalysis, and atmospheric theory, that explore how mood becomes a medium for identification, projection, emotional immersion, and even social critique. From Tarkovsky's meditative landscapes to Wong Kar-wai's melancholy color waves, from Jordan Peele's anxiety-laden horror to Celine Sciamma's quiet queer longings, this course traverses global cinema to understand mood as both a cinematic tool and an emotional language. Learning objectives. By the end of this course, you will be able to define and distinguish key components of film aesthetics and mood, analyze how cinematic elements interact to produce emotional tone and atmosphere, trace the historical and cultural evolution of aesthetic trends in global cinema, identify and discuss major film movements known for aesthetic experimentation, e.g., German Expressionism, French Impressionism, New Hollywood, slow cinema, etc. Evaluate how sound, silence, and music shape cinematic mood. Interpret mood through the lenses of film theory, including affect theory, psychoanalytic theory, phenomenology, and feminist/queer aesthetics. Deconstruct the emotional architecture of scenes, beyond plot or dialogue. Apply theoretical knowledge to analyze the effective structure of film sequences and full features. Create mood-driven visual pieces through practical exercises in lighting, color grading, composition, and editing. Develop a personal mood aesthetic and articulate it in a reflective artist statement. Course structure and weekly topics. Week 1. Introduction to Film Aesthetics and Mood. What is film aesthetics? What is the mood and how is it cinematic? The difference between mood, tone, and emotion. How filmmakers manipulate perception. Week 2. The Psychology of Mood. Affective Engagement in Cinema. Basic Emotion Theory. Affect Theory and the Body in Film. Deleuze, Masumi, Sobchak. Emotional Immersion versus Narrative Engagement. Week 3. Color as Emotion, Chromatic Language, and Psychological Mood. Warm versus Cool Palettes. Color Grading and Digital Color Science. Cultural Interpretations of Color. Symbolic and Atmospheric Color Theory. Week 4. light and shadow, luminance, texture, and emotional resonance, high-key versus low-key lighting, natural light versus studio design, light as narrative, symbolic, and atmospheric tool, cinematic shadows and contrast in mood design. Week 5. Camera and composition, visual geometry of feeling. Framing emotion, close-up, wide shot, Dutch angle, rule of thirds versus expressive symmetry, movement, handheld chaos, dolly calm, or tracking dreams, emotional distance and subjectivity. Week 6. Rhythm, pacing, and temporal mood, editing and temporal perception, long takes versus montage, creating anticipation, stillness, suspense, or urgency, real time versus elastic time in emotional storytelling. Week 7. Soundscapes, music, silence, and the sonic mood world. Music as an emotional compass, ambient sound and sonic textures, diegetic versus non-diegetic tension, the silence of mood, strategic quietness and isolation. Week 8. Performance aesthetics, acting styles and emotional space, minimalism versus theatricality, the physical body as a vessel for mood-eye contact, facial stillness, and the internalized emotion, naturalism versus stylization. Week 11. Experimental cinema and visual poetry, mood without plot, symbolism, abstraction, and mood architecture, avant-garde as emotional experimentation. Week 12. Final project presentations and mood aesthetic manifesto students present a mood-driven short or mood board plus visual journal, critical reflection of personal aesthetic philosophy. Key theorists and readings: Gilles Deleuze, Cinema 1 and 2, Laura Marx, The Skin of the Film, André Bazin, What is Cinema? Vivian Sobchak, The Address of the Eye, Laura Mulvey, Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema, Henry Bergson, Matter and Memory, Brian Masumi, Parables for the Virtual, Susan Sontag, Against Interpretation, Roland Barthes, Camera Lucida, Tarkovsky, Sculpting in Time, Films and Scenes for Case Study in the Mood for Love, Wong Kar-wai, The Tree of Life, Terrence Malick, Melancholia, Lars von Trier, The Mirror, Andrei Tarkovsky, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Celine Sciamma, Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, Call Me by Your Name, Luca Guadagnino, Uncle Boon-mi Who Can Recall His Past, Lives, Apichatpong, Weera Sethakul, The Babadook, Jennifer Kent, Atlantics, Mati Diop, Assignments and Evaluation, Weekly Aesthetic Journals, 15%, Scene Analysis Papers, 20%, Sound, Mood Scoring Project, 10%, Visual Mood Board Portfolio, 15%, Final Short Mood-Driven Film or Digital Aesthetic Piece, 30%, 10% Ideal for Students. In Film and Media Studies, Cinematography and Directing, Visual Arts and Photography, Psychology of Perception, Aesthetics, Philosophy, and Cultural Theory, Queer, Feminist, and Decolonial Visual Studies. Anyone interested in emotional design through image and sound. I look forward to congratulating you upon the completion of this course.